So I wanted to make a video about this tank prior to its changeover. This tank has been established for about 1.5 years. When I first put it together, all of these fish were very small. And now they've all kind of grown up a little bit, so it's getting way overcrowded. I do about a 25% water change on this tank about every other day with RO water. So it's it's clean and the nitrites are low, but it's really overpopulated. The MBU puffer, which you see swimming around there, he's less than 2 years old and he's probably 18 inches. You can kind of see it's really hard to tell on camera, but he's probably 15 inches long. That ATXAquatics, which is his buddy, is about the same length. Both of those fish will get 30 inches long. Probably not in this tank, but in nature they would. The MBU puffer is from Africa, and ATXAquatics is from South America, so those two fish would never meet in the wild, but they're pretty good friends. They actually kind of hang out. The MBU puffer is the one fish that the ATXAquatics doesn't bother. Everybody else is kind of a little dominant for, but he and the puffer kind of have a little understanding. But at any rate, these fish are, soon we will have soon we're going to change this tank around, and I'm going to move most of these fish out into other aquariums. And the only ones I'm going to leave in here is the MBU puffer. And if you can see back there in the back, the zebra barbs, those are the other ones that I really like because they don't bother the puffer, and I think they'll do a good job cleaning up after them. And the other thing I'm going to do in here is have kind of a colony of gold nugget plecos. So I've got a couple in here now. Of course they're hiding, you can't see them. But I'd like to get a colony established so that they'll actually breed in there, and I'll have I have some other logs and stuff which I'm going to put in there to give people room to hide. So not really a breeding project as much as just kind of a fun, interesting, would a colony of gold nugget plecos actually start breeding in here if they were alone? This aquarium's 10 foot long by 30 inches wide by 30 inches high, so it's about 550 gallons. It's got about a 120 gallon sump on it, which I'll show you at some other time. So a lot of water in here. I'm hoping that kind of nature will take over and that the gold nuggets will kind of do their thing, so we shall see. And neither the MBU nor the zebra barbs will bother those little plecos, so they should be able to grow up and have a good life. By the way, the zebra barbs, there's about 15 in there now. The plan is to start with 50, so get another group of 35 and put in there, and then potentially get up to as many as 75 because they school really nicely. And they'll school away from the MBU puffer, which means it could be a really cool kind of, big MBU puffer, school of zebra barbs kind of cruising around, cleaning up after them kind of situation. So we'll see in a future video if that kind of works out. So the whole point of this video is to show how to feed an MBU puffer when there's a bunch of other semi-aggressive fish in the tank who he could eat. The problem is that if he and any of these other fish, even the ATXAquatics, go after the same food, he's going to eat their face. So the difficulty here is to try and feed him without the other fish's faces being eaten. And it's not, if you've got, I actually had one where before I started, realizing this was an issue, he and one of the Juraparis went after a clam at the same time, and he sort of accidentally just got the Jurapari's face in his mouth, and he just literally ate the whole thing. It was very sad, actually. So after that, I've been very careful. I don't just throw food in here for the most part, because at least food that he wants, because the other fish want his food too, and if they both go after it, everybody else loses except for the puffer. If you listen closely when I'm feeding him, you should be able to hear him crunching through the clamshells, clams on a half shell that I feed him. He could take your knuckle off. He could cause some real damage. He doesn't mean to. He's just trying to eat, but we try and be real careful with how we feed him. So, start this little process here. So kind of get everything ready. We're gonna kind of pre-seed the little guys. So this is quite a process to feed this thing. So we're gonna pre-seed the little guys with just some food to fill their bellies a little bit, so that they stay out of his way. And then these are Hikari floating pellets. These are Hikari sinking pellets. So we're going to put some of that in there. I like to kind of push some back because I've got a bunch of plecos in there. So kind of get it all through the thing. He'll eat those too. He's kind of an unusual, watch your face, watch your face. He's kind of an unusual MBU in the sense that he literally will eat anything. He'll eat, pellets, he'll eat just anything that gets into his radar. All right, so now I'm going to try and, mainly that Uaru right there is the guy who really likes clams on a half shell. So, I've got to kind of fill his belly a little bit with some stuff and kind of get him out of the way. And then, so here's the fun part. So I've got a little reacher tool here, and I'm going to put that in there. And sometimes it takes him your face. Sometimes it takes him a minute to see it. Oh, there you go. Oh, Uaru. Hey, hey. Oh, gosh. So Uaru's being a little aggressive. Usually I try and give him some shrimp, some kind of good-sized krill, but I'm actually out of krill right now, so we're in the danger zone. So I'm going to throw some of these in here. Puffer will eat these too. This is massive carnivore diet. Everybody likes those things. You know what I might do since I'm out of krill? I'm going to give him a few clams, just to fill him up a little bit. That Uaru, he's an herbivore. He likes veggies and plants and all kinds of stuff, but he's really taken a liking to clams on the half shell, as much as anyone. So now the puffer's distracted. It's going to take him a minute to clean all those pellets up. And while he's doing that, I'm going to check this video here. Yeah, looks pretty good. Yeah, as you can see, the feeding this thing is creates quite bit of dust, let's say detritus that floats around in there. It's just the way it is with big fish. Like I said, the nitrites are almost zero in here. Pretty clean. But there's always going to be some waste when you have this many big fish. So let's see if we can get the puppy distracted from his other food. And he's pretty much, hey buddy, there you go. There you go. Yeah, it's a little loud in here with the water noise, but hopefully you can hear that crunching sound. And this is a really big clam, so I'll see if, there you go, buddy. Ah. Oh, those parrots are like super. You can kind of see the problem because they'll go in after some food, and he'll go in, and he can't really see in front of him. He can't see in front of his face because his eyes are too far spread apart. So he just kind of bites. Once he gets locked in on a target, he's just going to start biting. And so he doesn't know what he's biting. Here you go, buddy. Here you go. Right here. You can't see it because it's above his face. Okay. So the reason we feed the MBU clams is because his teeth grow all the time. And unless you give him something that wears down those teeth, he's like a beaver. Unless you give him something that wears down the teeth, his teeth will grow too big and he won't be able to eat anymore. So we give him clams to kind of wear that down a little bit, so that he doesn't run into trouble later. Alright, so he's doing pretty good. You can see his belly is getting pretty good size. So I like to give him quite a bit here. So the other thing, the interesting thing you can see on the ground here, I mean, he's been in here for a year and a half. Most MBU puffer tanks will have a bunch of kind of half-eaten shells on the ground. He's gonna, once I'm done and close the aquarium up, he'll start going around and just biting all these shells in little pieces. So we end up with kind of more sand. But it's good sand because it has calcium and stuff in it. But he doesn't leave them. He keeps biting on them until they're basically nothing. And maybe you'll see that here. He's looking for the good stuff right now, so you probably won't see it. Alright, so let's get one more good one in here. Uaru, you gotta stay away. You got to stay away, Mr. Uaru. There he goes. Oh! So that's what I'm talking about. That's the danger zone. That Discochotus sexfaxiatus actually is loves clams as well. That striped one with the red fins there. He really loves the clams too. So he is a potential face loser as well. Let's see if I can get him on there a little bit. Hard to see, he's in the cave there. That's where he likes to stay. He's kind of likes to stay out of everybody's way. So yeah, that's how you feed an MBU puffer in a tank full of really other big fish that want to eat his food without them getting their faces eaten. I'm going to go ahead and throw, it's probably on the camera, there's a lot of stuff floating around there in the aquarium, but yeah, just to make sure everybody's got their bellies full and they're happy. I might just kind of leave this on for a little while and let you see him kind of chew up some of those shells. He's still looking for, there's Massivor diet kind of in some of these leaves and stuff here, and he'll go around hunting that stuff for a long time. He leaves no stone unturned, as it were. So there's the Distichotis coming out. He's a big eater, and he's a pretty aggressive fish. He used to nip. He's very smart, so he would come up behind the puffer and nip his caudal fin, that back fin there, and then run away. And he would kind of constantly do that, just kind of at random times. It was not fun for the puffer. And then it's kind of an indication of how smart he is. Every time he got near the puffer, I would kind of, my desk is right here by the aquarium, I would jump up and flash a light in his face. And he just stopped doing it. It's like he learned. Like a dumb dog. Not that dogs are dumb, but he's not a dog. He's a dumb dog. He's like his intelligence level is like a not very intelligent dog, in the sense that he can learn basic lessons, which is pretty amazing. So when we circle back around on this at the next time, I may kind of show this a few more times just to get some interesting footage, because different things happen every time we feed this tank. But I just wanted to show this because ultimately, in either the next video or latter part of this one, I'll show you the transformation, and maybe kind of walk through that as well, kind of show you what I did. Might even do, although it's extremely traumatic, might do the when I take all the decorations and fish out. That's hard labor, so I don't know if I can stand taping that, but we'll see.